Hello everyone and welcome to my first Q&A. I asked for questions and boy did you guys deliver. I did not expect that many questions and I did my best to answer ones that didn't make the cut in the comment section. And for the questions that were most asked and I felt deserved a more in-depth answer, I'm going to try to make those into their own video. Stuff like art tips on painting and drawing in general, confidence issues, things to do to get better with your art, finding your style, and more in-depth about my own personal art history, like what my style used to look like and how I found my own current style. So look forward to those videos in the future. For those wanting prints of things that I've drawn, like in my prompt videos, check out my store Envy store linked below where I already have the prompt originals posted for sale, and I'll be ordering prints soon along with a few other things, so keep an eye out for that. So on to the questions. I split them up into two categories, personal and art. So I'm going to start off answering a few personal questions and it will kind of segue into the more in-depth and serious artsy questions. So here we go. What's your favorite color? Currently, light blue. Seriously, I swear it changes every year. What's your biggest pet peeve? This might be pretty general, but I honestly just hate it when people are inconsiderate of those around them. I can't stand it. How long have you been sewing? I've been sewing for about 15 years, off and on. Mostly off though, because it's just kind of something I pick up when I need a break from drawing. Would you rather never sew again or never draw again? First off, whoa, that's a scary question. You guys are crazy. And second, I would rather never sew again because drawing is my true passion, and like I said, sewing is just kind of a side hobby I have. Do you have any original characters? The only characters that I have are my three little imaginary friend buddies, Hatch, Dennis, and Owlina. What is your biggest dream / ultimate goal? Ignoring the fact that I just want to live a happy life, the one goal I have is to publish a children's book. Do you have any pets? I have two cats, Mr. Kitty and Little Kitty. I know, very creative names. Where are you from? I lived in the States until March of 2017, which is when I moved to Canada to live with my husband, who I met on the internet in 2003. How long have you been married? Since September 3rd of 2016, so when this video goes up, it will almost be a year. Why did you make a YouTube channel? Before I moved to Canada, I quit my job and I was about to pack all of my stuff up and move in 1 week. And then things got pushed back a month and I found myself with a lot of free time. I thought this was the perfect opportunity to work on my art, improvement, and work on my portfolio. So during this time, I just drew as much as I could. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to, I guess, expand where I post my art. And I thought it would be fun to post YouTube videos. And then Breath of the Wild came out and I didn't draw for a month. Whoopsie. What is your job? YouTube? No. I do not have enough subscribers and views to make a job out of YouTube. I actually don't have a job at all because I moved to Canada and I wasn't allowed to work on my visitor visa, so making YouTube videos and making art has kind of kept me busy and improving until then. How did you get into art? Honestly, I've always just enjoyed drawing and creating since I was a kid. I remember in 3rd grade there was some sort of drawing contest and I won, and any time before and after that, I remember anytime there was some sort of drawing skill contest, the kids would just roll their eyes because I was always the best. And it might just be because I had this natural ability for it that I was more drawn to doing it, because if I'm good at it, why not keep doing it? But I also remember looking at children's books as a kid and just really admiring the illustrations. Even now, when I go back and look at kids' books that I loved and I look at those illustrations, I get this crazy strong nostalgic feeling and just the feeling of loving those illustrations as a kid. So I think something about looking at kids' books, illustrations when I was a kid, I was really just drawn to them for whatever reason, and I've liked it ever since. When did you start taking art seriously, or how long have you been drawing? I don't like it when people answer, "I've been drawing my whole life." Because yes, we all drew when we were children. We all drew in elementary school. I like the question of when did you start taking art seriously, because that's when you actually started to improve. It's when you actually took your art seriously and you weren't just doodling as a kid as we all do. So yes, I drew in elementary school. I liked it just like every other kid. But like I said, I had this, I don't want to say natural ability, but I was just better than other kids. Maybe I just had a better eye for what looked good. So it wasn't until I was 18 that I actually started to really enjoy drawing. I mean, I like to do it and I did it here and there, but when I was 18, I actually really started to push myself and I actually started to draw a little bit more often. So it's only been 9 years. Yep, age reveal, I'm 27. There's a little treat for you guys for actually sticking through and listening to this. Did you go to school for art? When I graduated high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do in college, and I felt like I had to go to college because that's what society says, right? So my first year of college, I was undeclared because I had no idea. And after a year, I discovered graphic design, and I thought that would be a good alternative to illustration because I figured you can't make money with art, so I went to graphic design as a backup. And I wasn't super into graphic design. I enjoy some aspects of it, but it's not a passion of mine. I graduated with a degree in graphic design and a minor in illustration. I took 3 illustration classes while I was in school: beginner, intermediate, and advanced illustration. I also took drawing courses where we studied anatomy and other things. But as far as illustration class goes, I don't really feel like I learned that much. When it comes to school, you only focus on a very few pieces at a time, and you really strive to improve those 3 to 4 pieces, and I don't feel like they really focus on teaching you a whole lot as much as just improving those particular pieces. So I think a lot of my improvement has actually come after I graduated college because I've had so much free time to kind of explore what I want to do and improvement on my own. And I did get a few tips from college, but overall, I don't think it really helped me that much as just kind of sitting down and drawing on my own. If you look at my art from after college to now, which is only 3 years, the improvement is incredible. I didn't improve that much during college because I didn't have that much to work on my own art as much as I did work on graphic design and a few general education classes in between. So yeah. When did you know you wanted to be an artist? That's a hard question. Like I said, I really started to take art seriously when I was 18, but I don't think it's something that I knew that I wanted to do as a career. When I started to study graphic design in college, again, I thought that was going to be my life, but as time went on, I realized that my true dream of wanting to illustrate a children's book was something that I really wanted to do, and after I graduated and I started to draw a lot more, pursuing art has just been something that I have really wanted to succeed in. So kind of recently. Like most people, it was more of a hobby, so I was kind of scared of hating it for a job, but I think I just like the challenge of doing something I love. What is your dream job? Illustrating kids' books, if that wasn't clear to you. I wouldn't mind working part-time as a graphic designer and part-time as a freelance illustrator. I think that would actually be pretty fun. But my ultimate goal in life is to be an illustrator. And part 2 to that question, would you rather have a Hatch book or an Ant book? Hatch being my original character. I think at this point, in this very moment, I would rather have an Ant book because I love those little guys, and just creating these really complicated fun illustrations I think would be really fun to do. I'm not much of a writer, so having Hatch as a children's book is something I've wanted to do, but I wasn't really sure how to do it, so I'm going to say ants. What kind of impact do you hope your art has on the world or people who view it? This is such a deep question, but I love it because I've always had the goal of just having people smile or laugh when they look at my art. I just want to give people joy from things I've created and just being goofy and silly. And now that I've been creating art YouTube videos, a lot of people have been telling me that I inspire them to create, or I got them into sewing, and that just warms my heart so much, and I can't believe I can even do that. So inspiring people, making people happy, making people smile, if I can do that, that's all I care about. How do you stay motivated or inspired to draw? I have no idea how to answer this one. Just like everybody else, I go through spurts of, I guess, something you would describe as art block, where I just can't get myself to draw anything. Quick tip for art block, take a break. This is where I would usually go on to sew an ornament for a little bit and then get back into drawing. Ever since I created a YouTube channel, I have been able to keep myself on a schedule and forcing myself to draw something whether I like it or not. The 500 Drawing Prompts book has definitely kept me drawing, and I don't know what I would have done without it. It's good to come up with your own ideas to draw, but when something's telling you to draw and you have to draw it and you have to post a video by this certain time, that's how I keep drawing right now. Aside from that, I just really like to do it. What's your thought process? Or how do you make things unique? Oh no, another hard one. I don't know. That's like asking someone why their brain is the way they are. Asking someone why they aren't quote unquote normal or why they're weird. Maybe it has to do a lot with your upbringing, or maybe people are wired differently. Either way, I just like to think differently, and I like to come up with things that are out of the ordinary. I think something that has really helped me is, how do I explain this? I didn't curse like a regular person until I was 21. I thought it always made you sound trashy, and I've kind of tried to drop it in recent years. What I did instead was I said things like poop, dukes, just any word for poop I used, and people thought it was weird or they thought it was funny. It's what made me kind of get drawn to drawing poop, like the little swirly poops. And then the poop emoji came and it took over. Until then, people thought I was weird for drawing poop, and now it's the norm. So really, it's just being yourself and just trying to do what isn't expected. So a hipster, I guess? I don't know. Do you prefer digital art or traditional art? If you asked this question a year ago, I would have said digital art. I got sick of how long it took me to illustrate things digitally, and I got back into doing watercolors, and right now, traditional art, for sure. I love the way traditional art is unique. You make the one piece and that is it. You can scan it and make prints, but there is an actual one piece of it, and I love that. I did start off with digital art. Obviously, I drew with my pencil when I was a kid. When I was 18, I was introduced to Photoshop, and that's when I started to get into digital art. Then I moved to Illustrator in around 2010, and I was using Illustrator all the way until maybe 2016. I had dabbled in watercolor in between then, but it wasn't until last year that I was like, you know what? I want to do watercolor. So I'm doing watercolor. I'm much faster in it, and I like the outcome. How would you describe your art style? Angular and simple. Yep. What is your favorite thing to draw, and what is your least favorite thing to draw? I think my favorite thing to draw is horses. I don't draw them a lot because I try to keep variety in my illustrations, but something about the way I have stylized horses is just fun to me. My least favorite thing to draw, aside from hands and feet, are, I guess, just ugly things and things that have a lot of detail in them, like dragons and robots, stuff like that. What is your favorite prompt so far? I'm going to do my top 3 because I do not like picking one favorite. Prompt number 22. Yes, I had to include one ant drawing because they are my babies. It's my favorite ant drawing so far. The prompts were ladder and vase, and I just really like the way that one turned out. Prompt number 23, sun and moon. Together, they look so awesome, and I just really like the way the colors turned out, and I love painting the same scene and having something different about it. And prompt number 30, I love tiny things, and I just really like the way this witch's house turned out. What was that? Prompt bedroom, living room, dining room, and bathroom. Those are my 3 favorite prompts so far. Have you tried Copic markers? I have, and they were really fun to play around with, but they are very expensive and I like the effects of watercolor more, so I stuck with watercolor. And last but not least, what are your favorite mediums and what are your least favorite mediums? Obviously watercolor is my favorite, but I'm going to get real with you guys because you've lasted this long in the video. You deserve to hear my deepest and darkest secrets. Because I got into art so late in my life and I have never been the artsy fartsy type, I've just kind of stuck with what I know. So I started off drawing in Photoshop and then I moved on to Illustrator and I have been playing with watercolors, and to be honest, I have not played with anything else. I've tried Copic markers and I've used acrylic to decorate things, but aside from that, that is pretty much the only art supplies and art experience I have. So my least favorite, literally anything I've never touched, so anything that isn't watercolor or markers. Yeah, I'm the worst. I want to try new art supplies, I really do, but they're expensive, and I guess I would just rather stick with what I know and keep creating art than spend time learning new things because I'm a piece of poop. This is the exact reason why I want to try a monthly subscription art supply box like Scrawler Box or Art Snacks or something like that. I think it would be really fun to try new things but not commit to a lot of art supplies. So maybe one day I will. Who knows? I forgot a question that I wanted to include. Who inspires you as an artist and what inspires you? As far as who inspires me, there isn't one particular artist that I look up to. Really, I just admire everyone I follow on social media who seems to be working really hard to do what they love. What inspires me? I just like to draw and I just have to do it. And that is it for my Q&A video. Thank you so much for everyone who asked a question. I hope I was able to answer it either in this video or the comment section. Also, look forward to those videos talking about the deeper and more in-depth questions later on. And hopefully you did not learn too much about me. Alright, thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!